Ethan held his daughter Leela's small hand as they walked through the bright, crowded streets of the city. The morning sun reflected off the glass towers, and flying vehicles hummed softly above, carrying people to their destinations. Leela's wide eyes took everything in: the market stalls, the smells of fresh bread and spices, and the bright advertisements flashing on the sides of buildings. For a 7-year-old, the city was both exciting and overwhelming. "Daddy," Leela asked, her voice small but curious, "why do people live so high up? Why don't they just stay on the ground like us?" "But no matter how high they go, they're still humans just like us." "Daddy," she asked again, her voice quieter this time, "why is that woman sleeping on the street?" "Sometimes people don't have homes and they have to stay outside. It can be very hard for them." "Well," he said, crouching down so he was at her level, "sometimes people face hard times, but humans are also very clever and kind. Even when things are difficult, people can help each other. That woman, maybe she is just waiting for someone to notice her kindness and give her a chance to share it. Can we help her, Daddy?" He pulled out a small paper bag containing a sandwich, some fruit, and a bottle of water. He handed it to Leela. "You give this to her. Tell her we just want to help and we hope she's safe." Her dark eyes measured the little girl and her father. She wasn't used to strangers approaching her with kindness. Slowly, she reached out and took the bag. A small, almost shy smile appeared on her face. "Thank you," she said quietly. Her voice was soft but clear. "I'm Mara. We just wanted to make sure you're okay." That's one of the best things about humans. We care for each other, even when it's not easy. "Did something bad happen?" "I tried to fix it, but the companies didn't want my help anymore. They replaced me and I lost everything. My home, my work, my friends. I've been trying to survive ever since." "Yes, maybe I can. You can teach us about machines and we can learn together. Maybe then you won't have to sleep on the street anymore." "Would you like that?" Ethan asked Mara. Mara hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Yes, I think I'd like that very much. And maybe we can build something amazing together, something everyone will use." Helping someone isn't always about fixing everything at once. It's about showing that you care. Today had been a small step, but it was the beginning of something larger. He hoped Leela would remember this moment, that even small acts of kindness could spark change, and that humans, with their hearts and minds, could create solutions no machine ever could. That night, after Leela went to bed, Ethan sat at the kitchen table, thinking about Mara's words. He realized that the city, for all its lights, technology, and innovation, had overlooked something crucial: human connection. Machines could calculate, optimize, and predict, but they could not care, hope, or inspire. That was humanity's greatest strength. He resolved that tomorrow they would return to Mara, not just with food, but with ideas, plans, and encouragement. He wanted Leela to learn that humans thrive when they support each other, and that a single act of kindness could grow into something much bigger than anyone expected. As he turned off the lights and went to bed, he felt a quiet hope, the kind that only comes when you see your child's heart understand the value of caring. Somewhere on the city streets, Mara slept that night with a slightly lighter heart, not alone, but feeling, perhaps for the first time in months, that she was seen, valued, and capable of rebuilding her life. And in that moment, Ethan knew that the lesson had begun, the lesson of resilience, ingenuity, and the power of human kindness, which his daughter would carry with her for the rest of her life. The next morning, Ethan woke early, the sunlight spilling softly through the curtains. Leela was already awake, bouncing on her bed with excitement. Today was important. Today they would return to Mara and begin the small steps toward helping her rebuild her life. "Daddy, are we really going to help her today?" Leela asked, her eyes shining. "Yes, sweetheart," Ethan replied, smiling. "But helping doesn't always mean we solve everything at once. Sometimes it means we listen, we plan, and we encourage. And I want to help her be happy again. I love making plans." "Thank you, that means a lot to me. I didn't expect anyone to come back so soon. And sometimes, even small acts of kindness can start big changes. I've been feeling stuck for so long. I know how to fix them, improve them, and make them work more efficiently. She can help a lot of people. But maybe with a little help, I can start again. Leela suggested simple ideas like building small tools to help the neighborhood, while Ethan focused on practical steps, finding safe places for Mara to work, and ways to connect her with people who could use her skills. Mara's mind, once clouded with worry, began to open. She sketched designs, made notes, and even started imagining new projects she could build. "Look, Daddy," Leela said, pointing at Mara's notebook. "She's thinking of helping people with energy and machines, just like we talked about." Mara is showing us that even after hard times, we can start again. Children were learning coding, adults were discussing urban gardening, and a few volunteers were repairing old drones. Mara looked around and a small smile appeared on her face. This is exactly what I used to do," she said softly. "I can teach again. I can help again." Humans have communities, and when we work together, we can achieve amazing things. I believe humans can do anything if we try and help each other. By the end of the day, Mara had been invited to teach a small workshop the following week. She could hardly believe it. For months, she had felt invisible, but now, with a little guidance and encouragement, she was being given a chance to shine again. On the walk home, Leela held Ethan's hand tightly. "Daddy, see, we helped her feel strong again." "Yes, sweetheart. And remember, helping doesn't always mean fixing everything at once. Sometimes it means giving someone hope, giving them a hand, and showing them they are not alone. That's a very special thing." Mara, too, had started to see her own potential again. The three of them had created a small circle of hope, built on human ingenuity, compassion, and cooperation. That night, as Leela fell asleep, Ethan reflected on the day. He knew this was only the beginning. Humans could face incredible challenges, and sometimes life could be very unfair. But the strength of the human spirit, our ability to care, to think, and to create, was unstoppable. And he knew that Leela had already understood an important lesson. Humans were strongest when they supported one another, and even the smallest act of kindness could start a chain of change. In the quiet of the night, Mara slept in a small shelter arranged by the community center volunteers. For the first time in months, she felt safe and valued. She dreamed not of survival alone, but of building, teaching, and contributing to the world again. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new ideas, and new opportunities. But tonight, the three of them knew something simple yet profound. Humans, when united by kindness and ingenuity, could achieve extraordinary things. And that was a lesson Leela would carry with her forever. The next morning, Mara arrived at the community center earlier than she had expected. She felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. After months of struggling to survive, this small step toward rebuilding her life felt enormous. Ethan and Leela met her at the entrance, both carrying supplies and warm smiles. "Good morning, Mara," Leela said cheerfully. "Are you ready to start your workshop today? Thank you for being here with me. It makes everything feel less scary." They had been told about Mara's skills and her story, and their anticipation was palpable. Mara felt a small wave of nervousness, but Leela tugged at her sleeve. "You can do this," Leela whispered. "Just share what you know. Humans are amazing and they'll see it too." She began by introducing herself and explaining her experience with machines, energy systems, and small inventions. The students listened intently, asking questions and sharing their own ideas. Mara was surprised by how enthusiastic they were, how eager to learn and experiment. Ethan watched from the back of the room, quietly proud of both Mara and his daughter. Leela bounced on her toes, whispering excitedly to her father every time Mara explained something clever or the students made an interesting suggestion. Mara started demonstrating a small energy generator she had been working on in her notebook. It was simple but powerful, enough to provide light for a small neighborhood using renewable energy. She showed the students how it worked, step by step, and then invited them to try building a small prototype themselves. The children eagerly gathered around, their hands busy connecting wires, assembling small parts and testing circuits. Some experiments didn't work on the first try, but Mara encouraged them to keep trying. She explained that failure was part of the process, that humans learned best by experimenting and learning from mistakes. "This is amazing," Leela said, leaning against Ethan. "They're really listening to her. She's teaching them to do things humans have never done before." But today, seeing them work, seeing them think, it's incredible. Humans really do have the power to create and inspire. The workshop was filled with excitement, curiosity, and the sense of achievement that came from learning and creating. Ethan noticed something important. Mara was not just teaching skills, she was inspiring confidence, showing others that humans could solve problems when they used their intelligence, creativity, and teamwork. The students weren't just learning technology, they were learning hope, resilience, and the joy of helping one another. During a short break, Mara sat down with Ethan and Leela. "I never imagined I could feel this way again," she said quietly. "I thought I'd be invisible forever, forgotten by the world, but today I feel like I belong. We can overcome setbacks, adapt, and make a difference. Sometimes we just need someone to help us remember that." The city streets had small community gardens and public spaces where solar panels and small generators could be tested. Mara led the children and her small team carefully, showing them how to set up their devices safely and effectively. The devices worked, lighting up the gardens and powering small water pumps for the plants. The students cheered, thrilled that their creations had real, tangible effects. Mara's face lit up with pride. For the first time in months, she felt she had a purpose again, a way to contribute meaningfully to the world. Ethan watched the scene unfold and realized just how important it was for humans to work together. Technology was powerful, but without the guidance, creativity, and compassion of people like Mara, and the enthusiasm of children like Leela, it would remain tools without purpose. Humans were the true force behind every invention, every innovation, every small improvement that made life better. Leela tugged at Ethan's sleeve. "Daddy, look, they're smiling and helping each other. They're really learning from her." She had started rebuilding her life, but more importantly, she had shared knowledge, inspired creativity, and reminded herself, and everyone around her, that humans had limitless potential when they worked together. Before leaving the community center, Mara turned to Ethan and Leela. I don't know how to thank you. You gave me hope, but more than that, you reminded me that humans can achieve incredible things when they care for each other. That's what humans are for." Leela chattered about the day's events, her excitement contagious. Ethan listened, proud of both his daughter and Mara. He could see the power of human ingenuity and kindness in action, and he knew Leela was learning a lesson she would never forget. Once home, Ethan and Leela prepared dinner while Mara sorted her notes and sketches. The three of them worked quietly but happily, a sense of teamwork and shared purpose filling the apartment. Leela set the table with care, asking Mara questions about the inventions she had shown the students. Mara answered patiently, realizing that explaining her ideas to a child helped her simplify her thoughts and see solutions she hadn't considered before. Over dinner, they discussed future plans. Mara wanted to continue teaching workshops, develop small energy solutions for neighborhoods, and even create a cooperative where children and adults could learn together. Leela suggested fun ways to involve other kids in the community, while Ethan offered practical advice on organizing materials, finding safe spaces, and connecting with other volunteers. "This is incredible," Mara said softly. "I've never had so much support. Usually people just see someone struggling and walk away, but you care. Tomorrow we can come back and help again. We can make it even bigger." Mara had begun her journey to reclaim her life, but more importantly, she had begun sharing her gifts with others. The human spirit, Ethan realized, was strongest when nurtured by curiosity, collaboration, and compassion. Technology and knowledge were powerful tools, but without people to use them wisely and kindly, they were meaningless. Somewhere in the city, Mara also slept peacefully for the first time in months, dreaming not of struggle but of possibility. She dreamed of small inventions lighting up neighborhoods, children learning to solve problems, and communities thriving because humans had the courage to care for one another. And Leela, tucked safely in her bed, dreamed of the world she wanted to build, a world where humans used their creativity, intelligence, and kindness to lift each other up. Tomorrow, the journey would continue. Mara would teach, invent, and inspire. Leela would continue to learn and help. And Ethan would watch, guiding quietly, knowing that small acts of kindness and the power of human ingenuity could transform lives. Together, they were proof that humans, when united by compassion and determination, could achieve extraordinary things. The next morning, Mara arrived at the community center with a determined smile. She had spent the night reviewing her notes and sketches, thinking of new ways to expand her small workshop. Ethan and Leela met her outside, carrying supplies and ideas for the day. "Good morning, Mara," Leela called out, bouncing with excitement. "Are we ready to do even more today?" "Today, we'll start building something bigger, something that can really help the neighborhood." She explained that today, they would attempt to build a small energy system that could power multiple homes in the nearby district. It was ambitious, but Mara knew that humans had an incredible ability to learn quickly, adapt, and work together. The students were thrilled. They split into small groups, each assigned a specific task, assembling solar panels, wiring small generators, designing simple energy storage devices. Mara guided them patiently, showing them step by step how each part worked and explaining the importance of collaboration. "This is amazing," Leela whispered to Ethan as she helped a group of younger children connect wires. "They're really working together. Humans can do anything when they cooperate." Every small success brought cheers, and every mistake became a learning opportunity. The children and volunteers were inspired by her knowledge, but also by her resilience, how she had faced challenges, yet continued to share her skills. By mid-afternoon, the system was nearly complete. Mara and the students connected the final wires and tested the energy flow. Lights flickered to life in the small demonstration houses set up for training purposes. Water pumps began operating, and small fans turned gently in the breeze. The room erupted in cheers. Mara's face glowed with pride. She looked at the students and volunteers and said, "You did this. Humans are capable of incredible things when we work together and never give up." Today, you learned more than just technical skills. You learned the power of collaboration and perseverance. After the workshop, Mara, Ethan, and Leela walked to a nearby park to take a short break. Mara sat on a bench, taking a deep breath and soaking in the feeling of accomplishment. "I can't believe it," she said softly. "I used to think I was lost, but today I feel like I'm part of something bigger. Humans really are amazing. And I want to always help people, just like we helped you. Humans can do incredible things when we try and care for each other." "You're right. I've been so focused on surviving, I forgot how powerful humans can be when we work together. Today, I saw it again." Each session taught children and adults alike how to build energy devices, simple tools, and small robots that could help with daily tasks. The impact was immediate. Lights came on in homes that had been dark, water systems started functioning in gardens, and the community began to feel empowered. Ethan and Leela joined Mara regularly. Leela helped younger children, explaining things in simple ways and encouraging them to keep trying when mistakes happened. Ethan offered practical advice on organizing materials, tracking progress, and ensuring safety. Together, they formed a small team united by purpose, curiosity, and kindness. One afternoon, Mara stood in the middle of a workshop, watching a group of teenagers work together to assemble a solar-powered water pump. She felt a surge of pride. "Look at them," she said softly to Ethan. "They're learning not just skills, but confidence. They're learning that humans can solve problems when we cooperate. Humans are clever, resilient, and caring, and you're helping them see that for themselves." More students joined, and volunteers from other neighborhoods began participating. The small energy systems they built started improving living conditions across the city. Families who had struggled with dark homes, stagnant water, or unreliable power now had hope. Mara's knowledge, once forgotten, became a beacon for her community. Ethan observed quietly, impressed not only by Mara's skills but by the power of human collaboration. Technology was important, yes, but the real force behind every achievement was the human spirit, the creativity, determination, and compassion that Mara and her students displayed every day. One evening, after a long day of building and teaching, Mara, Ethan, and Leela walked home together. Mara carried a small backpack filled with tools and notes. Leela held Ethan's hand tightly, talking non-stop about the day's successes. "I can't believe how much we did today," Leela said. "We helped so many people. Humans are really strong when they work together. You reminded me that humans have incredible strength when they care for each other." Her work was far from over, but she had rediscovered her purpose. She had begun to rebuild her life, not just for herself, but for her community. The small spark of hope she had felt on the first day had grown into something much larger, fueled by human creativity, kindness, and collaboration. Leela, tucked into her bed, dreamed of the inventions she had helped build and the people she had seen smiling. She dreamed of a world where humans worked together, shared knowledge, and lifted each other up. Ethan watched her for a moment, feeling a quiet pride. She had already learned the most important lesson. Humans, when united by curiosity and compassion, could achieve extraordinary things. In the weeks that followed, Mara's projects continued to expand. She collaborated with city planners, engineers, and volunteers to bring more energy solutions and teaching programs to underserved neighborhoods. The community began to see tangible results: homes with reliable power, children learning practical skills, and adults inspired to contribute their knowledge. Through it all, Leela remained by Mara's side, helping younger children and reminding everyone that kindness and patience were just as important as knowledge. Ethan continued to guide quietly, offering support and encouragement, letting Mara lead while ensuring the team stayed focused and safe. One afternoon, Mara paused to watch a group of students testing a new solar-powered irrigation system. She felt a deep sense of fulfillment. For months, she had felt invisible and powerless, but now she was part of a larger story, a story where humans used their intelligence, creativity, and kindness to improve the world. Ethan joined her quietly. "You see, Mara, humans are strongest when they help each other. You're living proof of that. I thought I had lost my place in the world, but humans always have the power to rebuild, to teach, and to inspire. I see that clearly now. You reminded us all that humans are at their best when they care for each other." Ethan placed a hand on Leela's shoulder. "Remember this moment, sweetheart. Humans are capable of extraordinary things, especially when we work together and care for each other." A community of humans, working together, learning from one another, and proving that no challenge was too great when hearts and minds joined forces. The city streets had begun to change. Small lights glimmered in previously dark neighborhoods, and the sound of flowing water from newly installed pumps filled the air. Children ran through gardens now watered by solar-powered systems, laughing and experimenting with small inventions Mara had helped them build. Adults talked excitedly about projects they could start in their communities, inspired by the workshops Mara had begun leading. Mara walked through one of these neighborhoods with Ethan and Leela, observing the impact of their work. Her backpack was light, carrying only a notebook and a few small tools. She no longer carried the weight of worry and hopelessness. It had been replaced by purpose and pride. "This is incredible," Mara said softly, watching a group of children test a small energy generator in a community garden. "I can't believe how much has changed in just a few weeks. When we work together, care for each other, and use our minds and hearts, we can change the world. You're proof of that. And you're learning that too." Later that afternoon, Mara returned to the community center to prepare for the final workshop of the week. She had planned a special session to celebrate the progress the students and volunteers had made. Ethan and Leela were there to help, carrying supplies and offering encouragement. The room was filled with laughter and conversation as students demonstrated what they had learned. They showed energy generators powering lights, small irrigation systems, and even a tiny robot designed to deliver messages within the community. Each invention represented not only technical skill, but also the confidence and creativity Mara had helped nurture. Mara addressed the group. "I am so proud of all of you," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "You have worked together, shared ideas, and built something remarkable. Humans are strongest when we collaborate, and today you have shown that in action. You have reminded me why humans are capable of extraordinary things." "I never imagined my life could change so quickly," she admitted. "I used to feel invisible, like my skills didn't matter. But now I feel like I belong. I'm contributing, teaching, and helping others. Humans really are incredible. That's the essence of humanity, our ability to care, create, and lift each other up. Together, we can inspire even more people." As they reached Mara's temporary apartment, she paused, looking at the small building she now called home. It wasn't much, but it was enough. More importantly, she had regained her confidence, purpose, and the knowledge that humans could always rebuild, no matter the hardships. "Thank you," Mara said softly to Ethan and Leela. "You didn't just help me survive. You helped me remember what humans are capable of. I've learned that even small acts of kindness, combined with intelligence and creativity, can change everything. That's the true power of humans." She collaborated with other volunteers and neighborhood leaders to implement small energy systems in more districts. Children and adults alike participated, learning not only technical skills, but also the value of teamwork, patience, and persistence. Every small success reinforced the HFY lesson. Humans could overcome challenges, innovate, and create positive change when they worked together. Ethan watched with quiet pride as Leela guided younger children in assembling small solar panels. Her excitement and encouragement reminded him of the importance of passing on lessons of compassion, creativity, and resilience to the next generation. Mara, too, seemed unstoppable, her confidence growing with every workshop, every invention, and every smile she inspired. One evening, Mara, Ethan, and Leela walked to a newly completed neighborhood garden powered by the energy systems they had built. Children watered plants with the solar-powered pumps, teenagers tested small robotic assistants, and adults discussed plans for new community projects. Mara felt a deep sense of fulfillment. "Look at this," Mara said softly. "All of this, these lights, the water, the energy, is because humans work together. It's incredible. Humans are amazing when we try." She had not only rebuilt her life, but had also sparked hope, creativity, and collaboration in her community. The city was brighter, not just because of energy systems, but because of the human spirit shining through every small act of kindness, every invention, and every lesson shared. Ethan placed a hand on Mara's shoulder. "Remember, Mara, humans are strongest when we care for each other and share our knowledge. Today, you've shown everyone that. Humans are really incredible." She remembered the first day when she had sat alone on the street, exhausted and uncertain of her future. Now, she was teaching, building, and inspiring others. Humans had helped her remember her worth, and she was now helping others discover theirs. Leela slept peacefully in her bed, dreaming of the bright future she wanted to help create. A world where humans worked together, shared their knowledge, and lifted each other up. Ethan watched her quietly, feeling proud and hopeful. He knew that the lessons of empathy, ingenuity, and collaboration Mara had shared would stay with Leela forever. As the city slept, Mara dreamed of new inventions, brighter neighborhoods, and communities thriving because humans had the courage to care. She knew there would still be challenges, but she also knew that humans had the tools to overcome them: intelligence, creativity, and compassion. Tomorrow, new workshops would begin, new students would arrive, and new projects would be built. Mara would continue teaching, Ethan would continue guiding, and Leela would continue learning and helping. Together, they had proven the HFY lesson. Humans are strongest when they work together, help one another, and never stop believing in the power of kindness, knowledge, and creativity. And in that moment, Mara realized something important. She had not just rebuilt her life. She had become part of a growing wave of human ingenuity and compassion. She had discovered the true strength of humanity, and she would carry that lesson and help others carry it for the rest of her life. As the first stars appeared in the night sky, Mara, Ethan, and Leela looked out from their small balcony. Lights from the city twinkled below, powered by the inventions and efforts of humans working together. Mara squeezed Ethan's hand and looked at Leela, feeling a sense of hope and fulfillment that was impossible to describe. "Humans are truly incredible," she whispered. "And now I get to help make them even better." Together, humans will continue to build, inspire, and care for each other.